welcome back to live coverage of the EGCA Champions League. It is our second quarter-final on day number 2. And this is a battle of Britain. It is Ben Tigers taking on Northern Allstars for a place in the semi-final to take on Old Power. Well, a warm welcome if you are just joining us on the live stream. One quarter-final done and dusted. Old Power are through to the semi-finals. And we are about to find out who will join them. Ben Tigers starting on the right side of the court in their orange strips with the black claw marks going through the shirt. With Northern Allstars away to the left side of the court in their black strip with a purple and white V on the shirt. And this is a game that has been talked about this morning. We heard whispers last night. Aaron Ford is joining me for this one. And two teams who have faced each other on multiple occasions, of course, across tournaments here in the UK. And now they meet on the European stage here in the UK. Big game, calls for big players. And I think everyone's really excited for this one.
Yeah, good game for both teams, and a good opportunity for one of these teams to secure a semi-final spot and 2 opportunities to compete for that top 3 and qualification for the finals. So yeah, these guys know each other really well, both in terms of opposition, playing each other regularly, but also as a number of these play on the same Great Britain team together, so have been on court as allies together as well at times.
I would like to remind everyone to be quiet while the ball is
Ben Tigers are lining up from left to right with Big Josh McKenty, Joe Roper, and then Dan Roper. All-stars lining up left to right: Caleb Nanavy, Matt Loftus, Stuart Hudson.
So here we go then. We're underway, throwing from left to right, and it is that first throw from Matthew Loftus. Playing on the right of the 3, Hudson in the centre, and Evie on the left. Dan Roper gets his first throw, the top scorer currently in the EGCA Champions League this season with 19 goals in day 1. On a day where we had over 200 goals, and that was a big block from Josh McKenty that threatened from that throw from Caleb and Evie going towards that right pocket.
Dan Roper throwing there from the right side across court, but defended by Matt Loftus. Matt Loftus has actually moved onto the wing. Stuart Hudson is playing in the centre for Northern Allstars. Ball pass now to the left-hand side. Josh McKenty rotates round. It's a nice line shot, well defended by Matt Loftus.
Matt Loftus just meeting his teammate Caleb Levy in the centre of the court. Caleb Levy takes over just to the right of his centre. Player Hudson throws towards that far side of the court. Roper. Dan Roper smothers that one. He stands at the centre of his goal, goes towards that left pocket. That one's blocked. And now Loftus now has another go towards that far side, and he gets it, Matthew Loftus. It's advantage Northern Allstars in the opening stages of this quarter-finals. A diagonal cross-field throw towards that far side of the court. 1-0 Northern Allstars.
Yeah, good play from Matt Loftus there, doing a lot of the defending currently, but was able to get up with a spring in his set for that one and catch Dan Roper off guard with that long cross. Caleb Nanavy moves over to the right hand side now to take the next Northern All-Star shot. Throws that line shot, but just too far for the right hand side.
Well, both of these teams with equal records of 1 win, 2 losses in the group stage yesterday. Both of the teams starting off the tournament with wins. They suffered back-to-back defeats. That throw from Roper. Dan Roper from this near side towards the centre. Stuart Hudson, Caleb Levy is now right in the middle of his goal. Right-handed, whips it towards this near side. Kenty defends that one away. So Joe Roper, of course, in the centre. Or Ben Tigers thrown from right to left. Kenty skims one across the court to that left pocket. Couldn't be picked up by Hudson. Now here is Matt Loftus, who wants to dig it into the court. That one's blocked by Joe Roper.
Joe handing the ball over to Dan now on that right hand side. He's throwing into that pocket right of centre, but it's well backed up by Caleb Nanavy, who moves across the court with a really acute angle there, throwing back across to the left hand side, but well held by Joe Roper, who hands over to Josh on that left hand side.
Yeah, McKenty goes cross court towards Caleb Levy. Levy wastes no time, goes right back at Josh McKenty, who sweeps in behind it. A quick one-on-one battle there between Levy and
Dan Roper scuttles over to that top side, goes towards that left pocket. Hudson smothers the ball. Well, a bit like this first quarter-final, it's a defensive-minded game at the moment. Both teams not letting much through.
And it's just 1-0 to the Northern All-Stars as we are just under 3 minutes. Very much like our first quarter final between Old Power and Norsh.
Yeah, we saw lots of goals in that one, so there's still plenty of chance for this one. A little bit of movement there around the centre position for Dan Roper. Matt Loftus saving the ball, standing up. He wanted to try and catch him on that quick return again, but chose not to. Just composed himself and then throws across court, saved by Dan Roper.
Dan Roper cleared away by Hudson. Northern All-Stars team all on the edge of their team bench area. Caleb Nanevi between his teammates going through the centre of the court. Joe Roper sandwiches it in between himself and the court, and now here is McKenzie going cross court. Caleb Nanevi does go back relatively quickly towards the path of Joe Roper, who pounces on it.
Both teams defending well here. Starting to bring in a little bit of movement as well. Matt Loftus just goes over to collect that ball from Caleb Nanevi, moves back to his right hand side and then throws that cross shot back across, but that's really well held by Joe Roper there in the centre position, who hands over to Josh McKenzie, lines up at that post and throws across court into the far to the right hand side pocket, and it's blocked over, so Fen Tiger will get that ball back.
So another opportunity for Fen Tigers, just putting a little bit of pressure on here. Dan Roper, source of goals. Dan Roper, the top scorer in the tournament so far, with 19 to his name. Levy right down the centre. Joe Roper just lifts his hip up to block that one right in the middle of the court. Josh McKenzie just touching the inside of his near post. It goes cross court to Caleb Nanevi, and that's goes wide of the far side of the goal.
Matt Loftus over again to collect the ball here, moving back across to the right hand side of the centre player. Really attacks that high ball line, throws back across, but again another good block from Joe Roper. Dan Roper now moving Joe out of the way, takes a shot, changing his angle a little bit from centre. That's a good block from Stuart Hudson. You can see both teams throwing lots of angles here. Clearly both working to a plan, bringing in a little bit of movement into their attack as well.
Well, it was Northern All-Stars who made the first move. They are 1-0 up, but now we wait for our second part. Here is Loftus, who got the ball rolling. That first goal.
Dan Roper over as well, collecting. So we've got a few shots being pushed a little bit more now. Get these bounces getting a little bit close to the long ball line. Both teams will be hoping to keep this a legal game for as long as they can. Dan Roper now throwing from the left hand side. A little bit central, blocked by Stuart Hudson in the centre, who hand delivers that ball to Caleb Nanevi. Caleb throwing back down the wing, but that's a comfortable save for Dan Roper. Covers that with his chest all the way up to the sideline of the court. Just an opportunity in a break-in play now for coaches. We've got Emma Evans on the bench for Fen Tigers, giving on lots of information for those boys, and we've got the referees just meeting at the moment for an official clarification.
Yeah, meeting in the centre of the court.
So I think they're just discussing whether anything was amiss in the Fen Tigers bench as that ball went through, potentially whether, as it was collected by the assistant coach, perhaps did he leave the bench area? Potentially a little bit harsh if this is called. We want the game to be settled on the court, not by things off it, but doesn't look like they're going to give anything here. Oh, it is. It's a team penalty against Fen Tigers. So a great opportunity here for Northern All-Stars to extend their lead. They've chosen Joe Roper to defend, so ball's going to be dropped in. Stuart Hudson picking up, and it looks like Caleb Nanevi's waiting at back centre to take this penalty.
So big moments in the first half here. Northern All-Stars the chance to take a 2-goal lead. Caleb Nanevi, the dummy run.
Saved by Joe Roper, cleared away. Eruption here at Under School, and it remains 1-0.
Perhaps the lift that we needed to see for Fen Tigers there. Huge cheers from the crowd, but also big roars from all of the players and the coaches on the bench. So maybe this is what's going to kickstart the Fen Tigers attack now. Starts off with Dan Roper, moves Joe out of the way, starting at the back centre position, goes across, oh, and he beats the centre, but it's just stopped by the legs of Caleb Nannady, who gets up quickly, moves around, and throws a shot to the right hand side, well saved by Josh McKenty.
Well, the energy levels, the tempo just turned up a notch, and here is Josh McKenty, 360 degree on the turn right towards that far side. We're just going to have a stoppage in play. No shades of Caleb Levy just need to be placed back on. And if anything, that just takes the sting out of this momentum that's suddenly shifted. And we talked about yesterday, Aaron, that not necessarily just goals, but big saves. Out of a moment where you feel that you can go down even further, you're suddenly in a position where you can really fight back in the game.
Yeah, celebrate everything, not just the goals but the blocks as well, because every one of those blocks is you stopping and frustrating the opposition. So in a game of goalball where you might face 90 shots either way because it's back and forth, a defensive save can be the biggest thing to cheer, certainly at crucial times like Joe just did at that penalty scenario.
Josh McKenty now skims it across the surface. Caleb Levy right in behind it. Levy just step back pedals towards that far side of the court, really gives it a whip towards that left pocket, and Dan Roper just takes a moment to pause, set and engage towards this near side of the court. That one goes wide.
It's Matt Loftus now going to be picking the ball up. He's got a full 10 seconds. He too is going to look to take some time off the side of the court, adjusting his run up. Really long run up as he runs back into the centre of court, but he overcooks that run up and gives a high ball. So another opportunity for Fen Tigers now to try and claw one back in this game.
Well, it's amazing how the game can swing. Big chance here for Fen Tigers. Can they go 1-1? Dan Roper. And it's wide of the far post. A big chance. Passes them by, Fen Tigers. 1-0 it remains.
Yeah, just past the post there. So good opportunity to claw one back. We're back into open play. 5:45 left on the clock. It's Caleb Nannady who sends that ball down a little bit central, well recovered by Joe Roper, who hands over to Josh McKenty. Rotates round and throws that long cross, again stopped by Caleb Nannady, who gets up quickly and sends that back again to central, saved by Joe Roper, hands over to Dan.
Now here is Dan Roper. He will be desperate to make up for that penalty miss, driving the ball through the centre of the court. Loftus going towards that left pocket. Well, that goal across court towards the far side of the Fen Tigers goal is the one that separates us at the moment. Roper going towards Caleb Levy.
Just a little bit wide on that pocket there, giving Caleb an opportunity to defend it. Just needs to adjust that accuracy a little bit. Dan Roper, good save here from Josh McKenty, and that's a timeout call by Emma Evans. So a really good start to the game, Brad. 4:57 left on the clock, only separated by one goal, and obviously a penalty miss or penalty block for both teams as well. So currently can go either way, and it's shaping up to be the exciting match that we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had so many goals at this tournament, but the games where the fine margins make the big difference are always the most exciting. We've had 223 goals so far in this tournament, the EGCA Champions League. And just the one goal between the two sides here, as we have just under 5 minutes remaining. Still the same starting three out on the court. Josh McKenty will throw from right to left on this near side, goes across the court, that goes wide.
Josh tried that long cross lot, so clearly something he's been given and asked and tasked to do. Caleb dealing with it well, apparently. Ball sent over across. Joe Roper there. Between Joe and Josh, they get enough on it, and that ball is flipped over the crossbar. It even warranted a small celebration from Big Josh down there.
Yeah, why not? Just getting that over the top of the crossbar. Every save, every block is proving really crucial at the moment. Dan Roper's just changing the angle here. He's just to the left of his brother Joe. Listen towards this near side, a quick reply from Matt Loftus. He was trying to do, aiming for that far corner of the Fen Tigers goal. And Roper goes for that same angle again. Hudson threatens to throw quickly, but opts against it. And Lofty now, Matt Loftus on this near side again, bounces it right into the court towards Joe Roper in the centre of the goal. But no mistake there from Joe Roper. McKenzie just takes a moment, he sets himself. Big rotation throw towards the middle of the court. Now Hudson goes quickly towards McKenzie, but that's wide. And Northern All-Stars just turning up the tempo, just trying to catch Fen Tigers off guard here.
Yeah, you can see they're trying to catch Dan with his movement, and also Josh, he's big guy, and is he a little bit slow back through his line at times, so you can see that they're trying to just increase that tempo a little bit. But at the moment, Fen Tigers dealing a bit well. Really good shot there from Dan Roper, right side of the centre, and it's that shot, we talked about it earlier, you can see what he's tried. It was a little bit wide, that one was just a little bit closer to the inside pocket, and it managed to squeeze through the feet of Caleb Nanavi. So again, a really close game tied 1-1, 4 minutes to play.
Delicately poised to Dan Roper with his 20th goal of the Champions League this season. Comes up with a big goal in a big game. 1-1. And here is Loftus, right to that far corner where he found success earlier on in the half. Dan Roper crouching right underneath the crossbar. Brings it towards the middle of the court. And that one comfortably blocked in the end by Hudson. Levy just takes a step, gauges now, goes towards McKenzie on the near side, and that one is smothered.
Josh McKenzie now line up on that left. He's trying to change the angle, so he's been using a lot of the long cross. This one comes down the line, saved by Matt Loftus again, tries that quick return. Again, a really close game and match up here, potentially, maybe not now, but potentially something that might also be decided by this squad depth and by those players on the bench, not forgetting Northern All-Stars. Jack Peters has been really important for them this weekend. Dave Scott's come on and been an important player for the Tigers. So both teams have got lots of opportunity, lots of people to use from the bench. Currently, it cannot be separated 1-1, 3 minutes to play.
Here we go, with Dan Roper just in between Joe Roper and Josh McKenzie. Roper goes down the centre of the court. That one's saved. Loftus now. Climbs that high ball line. Tries to get in between the two Roper brothers, but fails to do so. Josh McKenzie just again just gives himself a moment in the middle of the Northern All-Stars goal.
A little bit of confusion there by Caleb and Stewart in the Northern All-Stars lineup, just colliding as he's starting that run up, but managed to deal with it. Ball blocked out there. Joe Roper really proactive and energetic in that centre position for Fen Tigers at the moment, doing a lot of that defensive work, trying to take the responsibility off Josh and Dan, allowing them to concentrate on the throwing. It is Dan Roper now on the right hand post, rotates round, looks again for that pocket, but the shot's a little bit central, stopped by the chest of Stuart Hudson, who passes over to Matt Loftus on this right hand side for Northern All-Stars. Throws a long cross shot. We've seen him hit it lots before. Now this time it's Dan Roper trying to up that intensity and throws that quick return back at Caleb Nanavi. Substitution.
Well, Caleb Nanavi was ready to go, and he actually sprinted over towards his near side, but he now will be substituted, and it's going to be Jack Peters who is going to come on. You mentioned him just a few moments ago, Aaron, how impressive he's been. We've seen him quite a few times, of course, in that blue of Birmingham, but producing some good performances for the Northern All-Stars.
Yeah, defensively been really strong. He scored some good goals. Arguably, he's been one of Northern All-Stars' best players this weekend. So definitely something different that the All-Stars are going to have to contend with. But also, again, something that Jack's going to have to quickly come in and tune into this game and do his defensive duties as well. So Matt Loftus has got the ball in his hands, moves over to the right-hand side. He's taking this next shot for the Northern All-Stars, sends it down the line, but not good enough to beat Big Josh. Blocks it with his chest, sends that ball out, stands up, ready to throw back.
Josh McKenzie. On this near side, going towards that left pocket, smothered by Loftus. He engages towards Joe Roper down the centre. Roper springs into action and gives it over to Dan Roper. Pirouettes on the spot, goes down this far side. Jack Peters gets involved in the action for the first time. Peters launches one down the middle of the court. Again, movement around the court as he claims the ball, gives it to Josh McKenzie, right up against his near post, moves it into the centre of the Northern All-Stars goal. He gets it back, and it's 2-1 to Northern All-Stars, and it is Stuart Hudson, an experienced campaigner, gets a big goal in the quarter-finals. It's 2-1 to Northern All-Stars.
Yeah, nice quick return there from Hudson, just caught Josh off, wasn't quite set in that defence position. Dan Roper now got the ball on the right-hand side. Joe trying to bring in a dummy run, and that's a really good testing shot there. Jack Peters just managed to put it out past the post. We're just going to have an eye shade check now, because I think that was saved by hands and face. So perhaps an opportunity for Fen Tigers to try and look at this new lineup now. They attack that right side pocket quite a lot with Caleb in that position. Are they going to do similar now that we've got Jack in that left wing position for the Northern All-Stars? Matt Loftus has got the ball, he's sneaking across the back of the goal, keeping that ball quiet, and he sends a really, really good testing bounce shot down the line, but saved by Josh McKenzie.
Josh McKenzie going towards that right pocket. He beat to Hudson, preventing that one from going any further.
So ball over, the ball will be introduced to Ben Tigers, Dan Roper and Joe Roper in the back of the goal as well, giving him that full court. So much movement and energy within the teams here today.
And just pressed into the court off the side of the foot by Hudson. Jack Peters goes for it, causes a few issues. And Jack Peters just picking up where Caleb Denevy left off. Just another threat for this Northern All-Stars team, and Josh McKenzie now looking to respond for Fen Tigers. Jack Peters.
Jack Peters bringing his own movement as well now, just finding a little channel between Loftus and Hudson. Throws a good shot down, but again, no match for the arms of Josh McKenzie.
So this will most likely be now the final throw of the half for Fen Tigers. Dan Roper's just setting himself now. Can he get Tigers back to all square? No, he can't. And it's going to be
2-1 to Northern All-Stars at half-time. And Stuart Hudson really enjoyed that one when that half-time buzzer went. Well, this is the game that we all really wanted. A tight, hotly contested match between two teams that know each other, two sets of players that know each other really well. And at the moment, it is producing the goods, Aaron.
Yeah, so it's not been as many goals as we've seen in other games, but this has been a really good, strong performance from a defensive point of view. It's just showing those different elements of the game as well from a movement point of view. And yeah, clearly two teams that know each other well. I think, All-Stars have already made a change and shown the depth they've got in their squad by bringing Jack on. We haven't seen any changes for Fen Tigers yet, but whether we will. But I think, yeah, this one's going to go down to the wire and probably continue to be competitive and close in terms of scoreline right till the end. Can both teams keep it legal? We've had one penalty each. We know these can have a huge impact on games, and at times that has been the difference between All-Stars and Fen Tigers when they've been playing here domestically. So yeah, a big second half ahead. Northern All-Stars currently in the lead, and a good strong performance to start the game.
Well, just the one goal in it between the two sides in this second quarter-final, day 2 here at the EGCA Champions League. Already we have one confirmed semi-finalist, that is Old Power. Walsh will be playing in the 5th to 8th placement match. The winner of this between Fen Tigers and Northern All-Stars will take on Old Power in the semi-finals. Well, 3 goals, 3 different scorers. Dan Roper for Fen Tigers, goals from Stuart Hudson and Matthew Loftus. It was Lofty who got us going this morning with that first goal, and that experience of Stuart Hudson. A beautiful pinpoint finish into the bottom left corner. Dan Roper, he had to make his mark in that first half of his 20th goal of this tournament. We are set for a fascinating second half. It is the Battle of Britain in the Champions League. Fen Tigers will start this second half on the left with Northern Allstars on the right. Fen Tigers in the orange with the black stripes going down the shirt. Northern Allstars in the black kit with the purple and pink and white V across the shirt. From Fen Tigers' point of view, no changes that I can see. Joe Roper, Dan Roper and Josh McKenty are out there. Jack Peters, Matt Loftus and Stuart Hudson are out on the court. So it's as you were. And we're set up for an enthralling second half, Alex.
Yeah, we certainly are. All players on the court ready for it. And yeah, coaches will have given their instruction. Another big 12 minutes of game time ahead. Big roar here, and bit of a team huddle at the start of the second half for the Tigers. They will start with the ball. Northern Allstars lining up left to right at the right hand side of your screens. Jack Peters, Stuart Hudson, Matthew Loftus, and then Fen Tigers left to right. We've got Josh McKenty, Joe Roper, and Dan Roper.
So Dan Roper will get us going in the second half, leaning on the right post, going towards that left pocket, and for a fraction of a second I thought that just managed to squeeze through, but it hadn't. And Dan Roper gets in behind that one from that throw from Matt Loftus from that far side of the court. Throw from left to right, Fen Tigers. And Dan Roper switches up his attack, going down the line. Jack Peters, though. Block Peters now. He just leans forward and goes right down the centre. Joe Roper smothers that one and hands it over to Josh McKenty. Josh McKenty now going down the centre. It's blocked by the legs of Hudson.
Stuart not able to stop that one before it got over the halfway line, so that'll be ball over and back to Fen Tigers. Dan Roper picking up on the right hand side, just changing his angle a little bit. He's got Joe out of the way, runs across the centre position as he throws. There's a long cross but well defended from Loftus at the far end.
So Loftus 4 goals so far in the Champions League. That one is out straight off the back. Josh McKenty has possession. Pass it over to Dan Roper. Switches it right to left, from near side to far. He goes from the far side. And it's
Deflected into the back of the net. It's 2-2. Dan Roper has his second of the game. It wasn't the cleanest, but it deflects off first off Hudson and then Loftus and ends up into the back of the net. It is 2 apiece, Aaron.
Yeah, we talked about vintage Erky Miller. That was vintage Dan Roper. He moved so well and so freely across the court. To be able to do that, he deceived the All-Stars players thinking it had moved. He moved back, and that was a really, really nice shot into that left-hand side pocket. 2-2. Dan Roper doing it for the Tigers all over again.
And a high ball here against Stuart Hudson.
And in the space of nearly 90 seconds, this game could be completely turned on its head. 2-1, Northern All-Stars led at half-time at 2-2. And Dan Roper, who else to try and get Fen Tigers into the lead. And a timeout called by Emma Evans, who noticed that Hudson was just starting to creep towards that far side of the court as Dan Roper made his move to his left towards the far side. That is a timeout.
Yeah, good timeout called there by Emma. Dan signalled to the bench where he was aiming as part of his penalty, and Stuart, obviously knowing each other really well, predicted that as well. So a great call from Emma. A little bit of time pressure now from the point of view of Dan taking his penalty, because that 10-second timer has obviously already started. And it's that game of luck we talked about yesterday. Is Dan now going to continue to hit that shot? Is he going to do something different? But a great prediction from Stuart, and as you say, how quickly that game could turn. An opportunity here for Fen Tigers to take the lead after being 1 down. Dan just creeping across now into the back centre, and Stuart Hudson staying stood tall at the back of the goal. Dan Roper throws it. He does go for that low number. Stuart Hudson gets a hand to it, but not enough, and it's a goal. A huge leap from Joe Roper there. Super proud of his big brother. Scoring another one and putting Fen Tigers 3-2 up.
It's a hat-trick for Dan Roper. It is 22 goals now in the tournament, and potentially his biggest yet. They are 3-2 up now, Fen Tigers. 90 seconds into the second half, And that one is blocked by Josh McKenty. So big block from Josh McKenty. Hudson right in behind that. Jack Peters, well, 9 goals so far. Highly impressive, Jack Peters. Can he make his mark now in this quarter-final? Oh, and he nearly does. So close from Jack Peters. Great effort, Joe Roper, with that block. But Peters impressing again, Aaron.
Yeah, nice shot, but an even better save there from Joe. Really good block straight to the penalty from Stuart Hudson, and another one there. Really important for him to get that defence in after the penalty mistake, just to sort of get that defence back in and show that he's back in the game and composed and ready to support his team. Josh McKenty now for Fen Tigers, got the ball on his left-hand side, throws it from just inside the pocket, and that's another good block from Stuart Hudson, using his chest to block the ball, and it rolls out. Time's ticking, they've had a few seconds, but it's about to be dropped in now with Matt Loftus, who has a full court available to him.
Loftus trying to go for that right pocket, but the stretched out legs of Josh McKenty lock that one down. Roper goes towards Hudson down the centre. Hudson aiming towards Roper, and Roper on this near side trying to capture out. McKenty now whips it down the centre. The high ball shout comes in from Jack Peters, but doesn't fall his way. Peters now down the middle. Roper quickly in behind that one.
Good block there from Joe Roper, really controlling this defence for Fen Tigers. And that's another shot from Dan Roper. It's that wide right hand side pocket again, just caught off the feet of Stuart Hudson and flicks over Jack Peters. There's nothing Jack could do about that. Again, is this something where we've got that bit of a hangover from the penalty? Northern Allstars really need Stuart Hudson to stay on this game now here and make sure that he's fully focused on this ball and play in that centre position. Okay, so we've got a substitution, so potentially the coach is there thinking similar to myself. Stuart Hudson is going to be removed from the court, and we have Caleb Nanavi being reintroduced. So what we will see now is Matt Loftus will move back into centre, Jack Peters potentially over to the right hand side, and Caleb will take over his more natural preferred position for the All-Stars on that left wing. So 2 goals up, 9 minutes to play. We've seen a few more goals, Brad, but there's still plenty of time in this game and nothing's won yet.
100%, or 3 goals unanswered for Fen Tigers in this second half. It's as you were for Fen Tigers. No changes as of yet. Big throw from Caleb Nanivi, Joe Roper. So a switch up here as Peters moves out to the right. Caleb's on the left for Northern Allstars. Josh McKenty goes right down the centre. Loftus, of course, in the centre. Quick reply by Loftus, and that was inches wide from our position. It almost like it snuck into that far corner.
Yeah, not on Josh's watch though. So lots of information there coming from the bench from Emma Evans for the Tigers boys. Clearly communicating this change in lineup and exactly what she wants from them now that there is a difference of position. Good shot there from Dan Roper, moving across to the left hand side of the court and throws into that left hand pocket. Blocked out by Jack Peters. Caleb Nanavi over to pick up his first action since coming back onto the court. He's going to throw from the same side, taking it from that left side. Again, trying that line of Josh McKenty, but well defended, and the ball goes straight out.
No surprises, the mop being brought out. Players putting every ounce of energy into this one. It is currently Fen Tigers 4, Northern Allstars 2, 8 minutes and 31 seconds remain. It has been a gripping, engrossing match between these two who know each other so well.
Josh McKenty got the ball at the left, Dan Roper providing a dummy run there. Josh just got his ankles run, under rotated a little bit and throws the ball straight out on the left. Again, Caleb Nanavi over, but leaving it to Jack Peters to pick up. Caleb's going to subtly walk back across, hoping the Tigers will fall for that dummy. Jack Peters got the ball on the left hand side. He throws into that right hand side pocket, and it does. Were the team caught in that transition? Were they more aware of Caleb Nanavi moving across the court? It left that right hand pocket open. Unlucky Joe Roper. First little sort of lapse in concentration that Joe's had there. He's played a fantastic game so far.
Jack Peters does make his mark in the quarter-final. Shifting across to their left, Northern Allstars. That big block down the centre. Caleb Nanivi going towards that left pocket. Roper. Joe Roper makes no mistake this time. Really gets in behind it and clears the path for his brother Dan Roper, who goes down the centre. That one is saved.
Yeah, good reset again there from Joe after the goals got in there. Really important to get that next block in and show that it hasn't affected you, and I'm back on that, sort of in my zone. Good nice line got there from Josh McKenty, just called out, but Jack Peters had good hands to it. Again, Caleb Manley coming over. We're starting to see this sort of movement game a little bit now. Again, both teams trying to deceive where that ball is, to try and create those openings.
Jack Peters with that effort, that was blocked out by Josh McKenty.
Dan Roper over to pick up the ball. He's got a full court. He's now moving Joe out the way, coming through that centre position. It's a good shot, but it's a little bit central. Stopped by the chest of Matt Loftus. Passes over to Kate Ivy. It's a big, high bounce, but well defended again by that man, Joe Roper.
Yeah, Josh McKenty now takes over slightly left of centre, takes a step to his left, goes down that far side. Peters well in behind that one. This game really is finely poised at 4-3 to Fen Tigers. That one is another big save. Fen Tigers throw from left to right in possession. Dan Roper sprints over towards that far side. And that one is blocked by Loftus. Joe Roper, no mistake there. And a timeout called by Emma Evans. So Fen Tigers lead by 4 goals to 3. Nothing much in it.
No, really close one. Great watch as well. Really impressed, Brad, with Joe Roper. He's playing a really good game. Good game management. There's a lot of sort of quick returns, a lot of movement from the Allstars team. Joe's reading it really well. He knows and recognises that Dan moves a lot around him as well, and he's just there, bailing him out. If they're trying to quick return Dan, Joe's there. Listen to it. He overcovers it, and he's doing a lot to protect his bigger brother here. So roles reversed.
Well, yet to make a change, Fen Tigers as well. The 2 players, of course, on the bench, Don Roper, Dave Scott. So, potential options to make a change. Northern All-Stars have made changes throughout the match. And here is Dan Roper, takes a big, deep breath. He's just on that far side of the court. Dan Roper goes towards Caleb Nanevy. Now Caleb Nanevy to respond, really rocks back on that crossbar. Joe Roper makes no mistake. Joe Roper, well, he's going to have an attempt here. Goes down the centre, that one is blocked.
Yeah, nice to see Joe getting involved in the attack there as well, just to take the pressure off the wingers. Good shot there from Jack Peters, but well saved from Josh McKenty. Stands up, lines up at the goal, rotates round, and he's trying that long cross. Oh, that's a fantastic shot. Crosses Matt Loftus in centre. Matt's only got one hand out. It flicks up into the air, hits the crossbar and goes over the back of the goal. Really nice shot from Josh, but a good save in the end by Matt Loftus.
Fine margins in this second quarter final as we tick over into the final quarter of the game.
Just trying that long cross again there, Josh, but a little bit too wide that time. Caleb Nanny now picking the ball up, going back centre where Matt Loftus is providing him some orientation. Josh McKenty doing a lot of defending at the moment. Roper over to relieve a little bit of that pressure. Moving to the right hand side. Rotates round. Throws a shot down the line. Oh, and that's a 10-second penalty called against Fen Tigers. That's a disappointing one. They won't want to be giving basic penalties like that away at this point in the game, with being 1 goal up.
So a big opportunity this for the Northern All-Stars. Can they try and get back to 4-4? Loftus with possession of the ball, standing in the centre of his goal. He just takes a few steps out towards his near side. It's over to Caleb Nanevy very quietly. Nanevy goes cross court and Josh McKenty saves.
We see it again, that celebration. So yeah, as it's a team penalty, All-Stars got to choose who it was that defended. They chose Josh. Probably, he's a big lad, but maybe not as mobile and agile as the 2 Roper brothers. So potentially a good choice, but actually backfired. Josh predicted where that shot was going to go. He went and sat down, and essentially Caleb fed him the ball. So a great save. Fen Tigers remain 4-3 up, and ball thrown out from Matt Loftus, about to be reintroduced at Dan Roper, who's got a court to move into. Flies across the court, throwing from that left-hand side again. Rotates round, goes back across, but he's a little bit central, stopped by Matt Loftus there.
So here is Jack Peters now. Slightly out of centre, going down that far side. McKenty after that big block from that penalty makes another big save. So just over 5 minutes remaining of this second half. Still on a knife's edge. Here is Dan Roper, really crashes off the crossbar. Gives it everything towards that left pocket. That one is cleared away.
Good block there, but some nice variation we're seeing in the attack from Dan Roper here. He's thrown lots across into those sort of higher numbers into the right hand side of the centre. That one throw from the high right side across to the left. So really making the Northern All-Star centre Matt work both ways here, which is going to be important to try and create these openings. These are two good solid defensive teams.
Josh McKenty standing tall over on that far side of the court, running from left to right, goes towards that left pocket, that far side of the court. That one is blocked, and Jack Peters now standing in front of the goalpost on that far side, right down the line. That one is wide of the mark.
I think we underestimated the block there from Jack Peters a little bit as well. That ball flicked up off the feet of Matt Loftus and was going over the top it. Jack Peters had his arm up in a barrier position above his waist. Just used that single arm, really good wrist strength to stop that ball. Just wanted to mention that because I think Jack should be really proud of that one. That was a great stop, and sometimes we see that a lot. That was a really nice block supporting his team there from Jack Peters. So another official timeout with the floor being mopped. 4 minutes 49 on the clock, and the Ben Tigers continue to be 1 goal in the lead in this game. Good opportunity here for both teams to get some information from the bench, have a little bit of a breather, and then go and give their everything for the final 4:43 in this game.
So Dan Roper just taking a few steps to his right, now goes to his far side. Roper going towards that left pocket,
Finds it, Dan Roper. It's another big goal from Dan Roper. And is that potentially the clincher?
There's that variation as well. Dan's been throwing from both sides. He's looking at crossing the centre, and that one was just a clean shot straight into the pocket from the own side. Possibly Matt expecting it to go across his body. Left a really big gap and opening, and there was a huge cheer on the Fen Tigers bench as well. I think Emma Evans taken a lot of credit for that shot. Clearly given to Dan, and he's gone and done his job and executed that really nicely.
So 5 goals for Fen Tigers, 5 goals for Dan Roper. He's throwing again now, left to right, in that same spot, going towards a more central position in the Northern All-Stars goal. That's blocked. Jack Peters just towards that far side, going towards Joe Roper in the centre of the goal. That's saved as well. Joe Roper over to the Big Mac. Takes a step to his left, far side of the court, goes down that far line, and that one's saved. Jack Peters wastes no time, goes back at Josh McKenty. He can't find a way through. And Roper takes a big, deep breath. Goes towards that far side, that one blocked by Peters. So it's a good recovery this from Northern All-Stars. They haven't let Ben Tigers just suddenly run away with it.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I think although that's happened, it's just being aware of that. That doesn't mean to say that Northern All-Stars can't do exactly the same thing back. We saw this game change in a matter of seconds from being, behind to being in front. That's the beauty of goal ball. It's end to end. Every throw is an opportunity to score. So there's still lots in this game, and both teams need to give their absolute best to try and get the win here. Josh McKenty, left-hand side of the centre. Few protests maybe from the bench there. Northern All-Stars bench thinking that was a high ball, but the referee didn't think so.
Jack Peters now. Need a big response this from the Northern All-Stars. That one is saved. So Dan Roper, really favouring that far side of the court. He will throw again. Dan Roper down the centre, big block down the middle of the Northern All-Stars goal. And that one is a penalty against Northern All-Stars. It does go into the back of the net. But now a chance for the Fen Tigers to really extend that lead.
So really good thinking there from Matt Loftus with the quick return, trying to beat Dan before he got back into position, but it's backfired a little bit there, just giving away that penalty. Roper got the ball right hand side. Looks like he's going for the long cross. He does. Really well read by Matt Loftus. These guys know each other so well, don't they? We've not had many penalties converted here. The beauty of training and playing alongside each other so often. A really good penalty block there for Matt Loftus, and he keeps his team just 2 goals behind in this game. 3 minutes 7 to play.
Big block by Josh McKenty. Well, this game has been so enthralling that we're into the final 3 minutes, and we need to figure out our player of the match. Joe Roper, certainly up there.
I think Joe's got to be, we all know what Dan brings to this team. Josh McKenty's also played really well and defended well under a lot of this pressure, as he does again there. But for me, Joe Roper has absolutely held this team together as a centre. He's done all of the dirty work. He's defended really well. He's given the players lots of shots. He's there to praise and encourage them every time they need it. High energy always. That's a great goal by Dan Roper. So he picked the ball up from the left-hand side. He moves over to the right-hand side. Northern All-Stars don't think they track the movement, and the right-hand side pocket was there to hit. Clean through, another goal for Fen Tigers, that's 6-3. But yeah, my vote, Brad, Joe Roper, even though Dan is on fire scoring goals here.
Should we put them up against each other in the player of the match?
Do it.
That's a big block by Josh McKenty. So Dan Roper, 6 goals, all 6 for Fen Tigers. He's produced a big display, big occasion. Jack Peters with a good save going down to his left.
We might have created a bit of a family argument there as well, Brad. Depending on who wins this, they'll be happy if they go on to win the game, but I'm sure they'll both be wanting to win that award as well and let the other one know as well. Sibling rivalry and brotherly love is something that the boys know really, really well.
So the player of the match poll is now live on YouTube. It's Dan Roper or Joe Roper. Get your votes in. But despite Northern All-Stars being down 6-3, just a word on Northern All-Stars. They've put in a really good shift. They played their part in this quarter-final. It's been so exciting.
Yeah, the first half particularly was such a close game. They did really, really well to hold their lead like they did. They've had some really good shots. Just made a substitution now, so Stuart Hudson's come back in, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of quick returning from Stuart in this centre position. They're going to need to bring the high energy and the tempo now, but with that it's the risk reward as well, because we've already seen that high ball from a quick return in the first half. But yeah, All-Stars have defended really, really well. This hasn't been a one-sided game in terms of, it's been a walkover. We knew it was going to be competitive, and it's been a really, really good display of two very, very strong teams. The Battle of Britain, currently it's in favour of Fen Tigers, but it's still a long way to go, and anything can happen in this game. We've just got an official break in play now, and Dan Roper's just having some patches reapplied. Historically known for sweating quite a lot, Dan. So yeah, he's just having his shades reapplied. This will be a good opportunity now for a bit of a breather and both teams to regroup and have some big energy for the final push in this game. But really important that neither team switches off and has any defensive laps, because that could be crucial at this stage of the game.
So the goal line judge having to get through a lot of mopping work on Dan Roper's side of the court. But we're back underway. Indeed, with the dummy run. Here's Hudson right back into the thick of it. Roper spreads himself wide.
Here Joe Roper then, just giving those orders. We got the full 10 seconds. How are we going to use it? It's Joe demonstrating that game management that he has. Although younger, lots of experience, and a really, really good solid centre. Dan with the movement from left to right and back over to the right hand side. Feeds Stuart into the centre of the court, who then passes the ball over to Caleb Nanavy on the right hand side.
Caleb Nanavy going towards Dan Roper. Cross court effort. That one is blocked out. So Northern All-Stars, the reigning Super League and Goldfix Cup champions, find themselves trailing here 6-3 to a team that they know so well in Fen Tigers. Just under 2 minutes remaining.
Good block there by Stuart Hudson, wasn't able to get the ball, so it goes for a ball over, so another opportunity now for the Fen Tigers to just kill this clock a little bit. There's no rush. Take your 10 seconds, Dan Roper moves on the goal, casually hands over to Josh McKenty, who lines up inside that pocket, sends a straight shot down, well blocked by Caleb Nanavy. Stands up with a little bit more energy, moving across the back of the goal, around the centre, and sends that bouncing shot, but again, really well held by Joe Roper there.
Dan Roper with the effort towards that left pocket. Caleb Nanavy pushes one towards the middle of the court. Joe Roper, no problems for him. He's currently leading our player of the match vote. Joe Roper towards that far side.
They're all just my votes, they are, Brad. I think he's having a brilliant game.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, and that's not taking anything away from any of the other players. We've seen that guys that are contributing in attack, but yeah, even now we've got 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. Another 10 seconds, you can hear Joe barking orders, telling these boys what to do. He's been the glue in the middle of that court today, holding this game together. that Josh McKenzie's got the ball on that left-hand post. He'll be in absolutely no rush here.
McKenzie into Caleb Ranivi. He quickly responds. That one is out.
So that's bringing this tempo up a little bit here, but it is playing into the hands of the Fen Tigers. That's another 10 seconds that they can just kill this clock if they need to. Allstars have got to have that high energy, but we've got to make sure it's matched with accuracy as well. He uses a few of those seconds, he moves over to the right hand side. Good stop by Stuart Hudson, who gets up and sends that quick return back. Good block by Dan Roper, who again will hold that ball for a good 4 or 5 seconds before releasing.
Dan Roper going towards that left pocket. Hudson pounces on that ball. Jack Peters just takes a moment on this near side and launches one towards the middle of the court. Roper with another big save. Joe Roper, of course, in the centre.
Some anxious faces in the crowd here. Lots of the Northern All-Stars family, friends, people supporting. So hopefully, or potentially, about to witness this win. Line shots sent down to Caleb Nanavi, who gets that really quickly. Oh, that's really unlucky. Great effort from Caleb Nanavi. I think Josh got a hand to it, but just pushed it onto the post and out. We've got another sort of ball, 10 seconds pretty much that these guys can try and use. 23 seconds on the clock.
Dan Roper taking every second he can. Throws towards that left pocket. It sneaks under the body of Hudson, but not past Nanivi. Nanivi tiptoes to his left. He's slightly left of centre. He goes out towards this near side. And that one goes wide.
Get him over, Brad. 7.4 seconds on the clock. They've got another full 10 seconds. These boys will just go and hold that ball. That is game over, and a really, really good win for Fen Tigers there.
Well, what a moment this is for Fen Tigers.
They are through to the semi-finals of the EGCA Champions League. And they go one step closer to potentially competing in the Champions League finals for the very first time. They will take on Old Power in the semi-finals. Northern All-Stars have contributed to a really entertaining game of goalball. It was one of our lowest scoring games of the weekend so far, but arguably one of our most exciting.
Yeah, hats off to both teams. It was a really, really good game, really good defensive display. Both teams tried everything. They brought their movement, they brought the high energy, and yeah, we've seen lots of games between these teams, and they're both really, really good, strong, competitive teams. I've seen Fen Tigers have wins, I've seen Northern All-Stars have wins, we've seen close games, we've seen games that have been decided by penalties with much bigger goal margins. Today was Fen Tigers' day, and I'm sure it'll be a real special moment for them doing this at their home tournament in front of all of their friends and family. So yeah, they got the win today, but I'm sure Northern All-Stars will be back, and this isn't the last that we've heard of the Battle of Britain.
Well, 2 quarter-finals completed, 2 more to come. Our third quarter-final will be Brussels taking on Berlin at 10:35 local time in just under 20 minutes. And we have our first semi-final matchup completed. And it will be Old Power taking on Fen Tigers in our first semi-final. Orsh will be taking on Northern All-Stars in our first 5 to 8 placement match. Brilliant game here at Oudal School. The EGCA Champions League hosted by Fen Tigers. And it is the hosts that are through to the semi-finals. We'll be back with you shortly.
We've got one more thing to the side, Brad.
Of course we do.
Sibling rivalry. Fen Tigers got the win, but which Roper brother got the win on that player of the match?
I can confirm. It was Joe Roper who was your player of the match. Thank you very much to everyone who voted. And I'm sure there might be a full agreement, hopefully, at the dinner table later on. But yes, to confirm, Joe Roper is your player of the match. We'll be back with you shortly.